Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, VP Brummer. I already have a roll call sheet for General Assembly.
You got it. Love you, Amanda.
It's called GA February. It's towards the front.
Mearsheimer.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh my God, Danny. One of my favorite Batman.
But a child isn't hearing it or got somebody to yell
Right, I'm gonna let those in person let me know when we're all ready to get started.
I think we're ready.
Alrighty. Okay. So I will be calling, if you could pull up the agenda, I will be calling this meeting of the General Assembly to order at 5:03 p.m. Thank you all for attending today. Just an FYI for all new legislators, General Assembly, sir, hold on, give me just one moment. Sorry, I just had to close my door. Back to what I was saying, General Assembly serves to as the first meeting of the month to get all legislators and all delegate members, which can comprise any like representatives from like clubs and different organizations on campus to come together. It's usually pretty quick, and it allows for anyone to provide any updates regarding any campus-wide initiatives and events and ongoings. So just to give a little bit of context, and also I apologize for not being in person today. I have some family issues going on right now, so I'm dealing as best as I can, but I really appreciate everyone's patience. Alrighty, let's go right into roll call, please. VP Brummer, if you could do the favor of just selecting if people are present, since you can see people better. In
Yep.
person. All right, thank you. All right, let's get started. Speaker Johnson, Majority Leader Smith. I see a present in the chat. Chairperson Smith, Rose. Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Present.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator. Oh,
My apologies.
oh, good. I am okay. I am just now realizing that Legislator Iveza is not on the roll call sheet. So I'm gonna add that really quickly. Phil will let me. Marion, if you're able to, I don't know why I'm not. Oh, okay. Never mind. I got it. Okay. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Drzwicki. Legislator Duong.
Present.
Legislator Iveza Maria.
Present.
Legislator Iveza Adrian.
Present.
Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason. See it present in the chat. Legislator Mullins. Legislator Prishendaro. Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters. Legislator Williams,
Present.
Legislator Wolf. Apologies if I pronounce your last name wrong. Legislator Wiegand. Legislator Rosario. Fraternity and Sorority Life Liaison Goichai. Pollinator Conservation Organization Liaison Moeller. Board of Trustees Liaison Iriarte. Board of Trustees Liaison Kobes. Athletics Liaison Prisby. CETO Liaison Markowitz.
Present.
Delegate for, oh wait, I'm so sorry. Okay, Delegate for Entrepreneurs in Action, Matthews. Delegate for Costume and Cosplay Club, Ludwig.
Present.
Delegate for the Center for Multicultural Initiatives, Smith. Alrighty. If you could go back to the agenda, please. All right. So no new business for today, but just for information, all legislators and delegates and liaisons are able to pass resolutions. This is during the General Assembly. This is the benefit to passing a resolution during Gen Assembly is that whenever we present these resolutions to administration, we can say that not only was legislators behind it, but also representatives from the campus at large, and that gives a lot more merit and I guess more credit to these resolutions if we pass them in that way. So just an FYI. Next, we'll be going into updates related to caucuses. This can be this can be updates from anyone, especially like if you have like a club organization meeting coming soon, or maybe you have some type of initiative, campus-wide initiative that you have in mind, from big or small, whatever, any update, now is the time. If there are no hands raised in person, I'm going to go ahead and go to the updates related to OUSC leadership. With regards to, all right, so first I give an update regarding like OUSC specifically. First of all, I just want to talk about the Heritage Week event. The Heritage Week events that happened last week. Those were very, very successful and very, very fun. It was a blast. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the latter half, but I was very devastated to not be there. But I did hear a lot from everyone here who attended about how they went, and I really do want to like thank you all from the bottom of my heart for attending them and running them. And honestly, it couldn't have happened without all of you guys being there to support. So I really, really appreciate everyone. But yeah, it was really, really fun. And we also got to connect a lot with other like organizations across campus. It wasn't just like a solely OUSC thing. We connected with so many different organizations, and I think that through that we got our name a lot more out there. So I really hope that we can continue the success when it comes to event planning and reaching, the campus at large. And then next we've been planning when it comes to like event planning. We have sustainability events coming up soon. Nick is working hard to plan some things. I know that the first one is going to be on February 12th. It's going to be the we're gonna Nick is Nick is having a live owl on campus. So that's going to be a pretty cool event, February 12th. I can't remember the time, so we'll definitely make a calendar invite to make sure that all of you can attend. But yeah, there's going to be various sustainability events. We're also planning our student governance conference. That's going to be happening in March. I know that Valerie is hard at work again to plan another week of programming for neurodivergence. So let me know if you're interested in contributing to that. And I know that all of you legislators have been hard at work on different initiatives that you've been working on with VP Brummer, and I'm really excited to see the outcome of a lot of those. And yeah, so that's all in the update that I have for Student Congress. I'm gonna pass it over to VP Brummer to give an update about campus-wide programming and events.
So first of all, there is a lot of events being put on by CMI this month for African Celebration Month. One of which that I wanted to highlight was the Black Business Expo. This will be tomorrow at 11:30, and it'll take place right here in the Oakland Center in the Habitat. So make sure to go check that out. Also, the Career and Life Design Center is having their winter career fair very soon, and they have a slew of events to help students prepare for that career fair. One of which that I wanted to point out was the specific career fair preparation event. This is also tomorrow at 1 p.m. and it'll be hosted in the Career and Life Design Center in North Foundation Hall, room 103. And then the career fair itself is this Wednesday at noon and it'll take place in the Oakland Center. Make sure to check it out. It's a great resource for students on campus. And then something else that I wanted to highlight was the Be Well Wednesdays. The Office for Student Involvement is hosting a Valentine's Day card making event that will also be this Wednesday, the 5th at 11 a.m. and it'll take place in the lower level of the Oakland Center in the OSI office. So make sure to check all of those out.
Alrighty, thank you so much for that update, VP Brummer. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to Speaker Johnson for any legislature-specific updates.
Hello, everyone. I hope we're all fabulous on this very, very interesting day. As far as the legislature is concerned, we pretty much in status quo. As of right now, we've hopefully gotten approval coming up later at the GBM. The person's running a little late, hopefully they'll be here in time. And then we have a resolution authored by Chairperson Smith that should be very interesting. And it's one that I'm very supportive of, and I invite you all to join me in as well. I don't have too many more bits.
Alrighty, thank you so much for that update, Speaker Johnson. Is Chairperson Liati there to
Yep.
give an update?
Yep, I'm here.
Right, thank you so much.
All right, so not much to update regarding the just SAFB in general. Just as a reminder to all presidents and treasurers of any organizations, the new deadline as of actually December of last year is 3 weeks before an event takes place. So if you have any event going on, please get in that request as soon as possible, because now we ask 3 weeks because of issues in the past with timing and having to return requests and issues with OSI getting enormous piles of requests to do their purchases. So just keep that in mind. That has been like one issue we've been encountering quite a bit, which is normal. The semester just began, so people aren't as used to this, but now we're in February and this has technically been in place since December. So please, 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 please be aware of that. And what else? Yeah, if you have any questions about FFB stuff, please reach out to us. We are getting through requests as fast as we are humanly capable of, and hopefully with the approval of 2 new people later at the GBM today, we will be able to do that even faster. So yeah, that is all I have for updates.
Thank you so much for that update. Now we will just go into announcements. Is there any announcements at all? Anything for the good of the group, whether it be your personal announcement or something about a club meeting, whatever it might be.
The American,
Alrighty. Oh, is there someone?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you guys would see my hand or not, so I just decided to speak up. But the American Marketing Association, I think I mentioned this last week, but next week we'll be hosting an event. It'll be like a networking / resume building event, and we'll have Chick-fil-A there, so everyone and anyone is welcome to come. It's from 12 to 1 in the Stinson Center.
Thank you so much, Legislator Iveza. Is there any other updates at this time?
Bring it to attention, the campus food committee were, well, part of the marketing committee, we're making marketing material for the campus food committee so we can get more awareness out on campus. about the campus food committee, so it's just bringing that out there.
Yes, and make sure to attend if you would like to voice any concerns.
Oh yeah, that is a really good point to bring up. Please attend Campus Food Committee if you're available. The more people that attend is the better because we get a larger like range of viewpoints. But thank you so much for everyone who has attended thus far. I think we've been getting pretty good attendance so far. Anything else?
Yeah, it's Director Richardson. I just want to say that Pi Sigma Alpha, the political science organization here on campus, is holding a game night. We rescheduled to February 12th. It is going to happen, I believe, at the same time. So if anyone wants to check their email, you get the political science emails. It should say the time. Unfortunately, I've forgotten. But it's in Poly Hall. So please, if you are a freshman, I'm really saying this because of the incoming legislators, if you are a freshman, please attend these events. They are connecting events. It doesn't matter what your major is or your background, just come have some fun and we give you guys food. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Richardson. Any other updates?
We have none here in person.
Alrighty. Well, if there are no other updates, I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting of the General Assembly at 5:18 p.m. Thank you.
Alrighty. We are gonna keep moving and go straight into our general body meeting. I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:19 p.m. And we will move straight into roll call. Alrighty, Speaker Johnson,
Present.
Majority Leader Smith, Chairperson Smith, Chairperson Valdez, Chairperson Markowitz,
Present.
Parliamentarian Lunger, Legislator Ali, Legislator Arnold, Legislator Childs, Legislator DeVore, Legislator Joswicki, Legislator Duong,
Present.
Legislator Iveza Adrian,
Present.
Legislator Iveza Maria,
Present.
Legislator Mays, Legislator Mason. See a present in the chat. Legislator Mullins,
Present and voting.
Legislator Prashandaro,
Present.
Legislator Rosario. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Legislator Smith, Legislator Waters, Legislator Wiegand, Legislator Williams,
Present and voting.
Legislator Wolf. Alrighty, and with that, we meet quorum. Next up on the agenda, we have our land acknowledgement. We recognize the wrongs done to those forcibly removed from their homelands and commit to fostering an environment of inclusion that is responsive to the needs of First Peoples through our words, policies, and actions. Next up on the agenda, we have the approval of agenda. Is there any motions to amend the agenda at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move to a voice vote. Is there any nays at this time? Any yays? All right, with that, the agenda has been approved. Next up, we have announcements. Is there any announcements anyone would like to make at this time for the good of the group? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to new business. First up under new business, we have the approval of Tay Smith as a legislator. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson, I will give you the floor. Okay. So we will reorder, and we will move next to the approval of Natalie Ishioka as SAFB Director of Audits. This is presented by Chairperson Liati.
Right, so, I'll actually go up to the front real quick. Natalie unfortunately was not able to be here, but she did send me, kind of a speech prepared for this. Which SAFB has done approvals like this before. She unfortunately has class, so it is not something that we would be able to reschedule because she has classes every Monday. So let me just pull it up real quick. So I'm gonna give a brief introduction on Natalie. She has worked with SAFB before. She was Director of Outreach, and then she was Associate Chairperson for a little bit before Nia took on that role. I really think in the past, she has gotten the grasp of the rules for SAFB really, really quickly. She was able to get on that and adapt and created spreadsheets that we've been using since after she left, we still use all the spreadsheets that she created. So I'll now read her little speech and then we go ahead and vote. Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Ishioka. I'm in my third year at OU studying medical laboratory science. I've been with SAFB in the past in the roles of Director of Outreach and Associate Chair. I love SAFB and being involved with it, but I had to leave last year due to some schedule issues. My schedule is much more open now, so I'm hoping to come back. In addition to SAFB, I'm also the Secretary of the Clinical and Diagnostic Science Society, CDSS, and the Coordinating Office of Administration for the National Residence Hall Honorary. I also work on campus as a resident assistant in student apartments. When I'm not working or doing school, my hobbies are playing golf, watching NFL football, and taking ballet classes. I'm excited for the chance to potentially come back to SAFB, and I hope to work with you all in the future. Unfortunately, I have microbiology lecture and lab on Monday evening, so I'm unable to come in person to OUSC meetings this semester, but I look forward to meeting you all in the office. End quote. And just as an add-on, yeah, Natalie is a really hard worker, and yeah, we love her. And if anyone has any questions, I could try to reach out to her via text. I just don't think she would be able to reply to them as.
Alrighty. Since Natalie is not present with us here today, we will skip over the questions portion. Is there any discussion on Natalie's approval?
Thank you. This is more of a question for Chairperson Liati.
Mhm. I could go up ahead and use the other mic.
Yeah. I'll go. So I remember hearing somewhere that SAFB interviews these candidates before they are put up for approval.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay.
Yes, that is correct. We do an interview process and we have a rule that we need to interview at the very minimum 2 people for a role before we can make any decisions.
Okay. Thank you. That's really, because like my thinking is if you guys already did a lot of the work and this candidate you prefer, I think that, and it was personally that I have no issue with it. So you guys did the hard part. So you know what you're doing. So thank you. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you.
President Garcia, I saw a hand raised.
I just wanted to vouch and say that I knew Natalie when she was on SAFB board previously, and I can say that she's a hard worker and she's like one of those types that like work really hard and are very organized. And I totally trust her to come back to the board, and I'm excited to see her return if you all approve her.
Speaker Johnson?
This is more so for the newer legislators who might not know this tidbit of information. But because OUSC has a form of oversight over SAFB, the legislature has to approve the folks that join the fun club. So if you're ever curious as to why we have to vote for their names, that is why. I will yield now.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other discussion on Natalie's approval at this time? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move into a vote.
Alrighty, Legislator DeVore. Legislator Mullins.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
Majority Leader Smith. Chairperson Smith.
Yeah.
Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator Joswicki. Legislator Duong.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Adrian.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Maria.
Yay.
Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason. See a yay in the chat. Legislator Prishandaro.
Yeah.
Legislator Rosario. Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters. Legislator Wiegand. Legislator Wolf. Alrighty, and with that, Natalie has been approved. Alrighty, next up on the agenda, we have the approval of Divya Agrawala. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, as SAFB Director of Accounting. This is also presented by Chairperson Liani. You have the floor.
So sorry. I should, yeah. All right, so for the next approval, so Divya really stood out in the interviews that we did for accounting. Honestly, I don't know what to say except as soon as we finished the interview, my co-chair, Nia Matthews, and I turned to each other and we were like, we have to get her on the team. So that is about that. I'll let her introduce herself and right, what was yours? All yours.
Hi everyone, my name is Divya. Thank you, Gio, for the introduction, and I can validate the fact that I had a really long one-hour interview for the process. But the team was amazing. I really enjoyed interviewing them. It was more like a fun chat. About myself, I'm a master's student. I'm doing my master's in finance here. And this is my second semester. I do have 2 years of work ex as a financial analyst and hence the role of director of accounting. So finance and accounting are 2 very different fields, but if you know the difference between them, it's very easy to work on both the fields. And I really enjoyed knowing the team and the role. So I hope I can contribute to it. That's all about me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Divya. Is there any questions for Divya at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm going to ask you to step out into the hallway. We'll bring you back in just a minute. Alrighty, to start us off with discussion, President Garcia, you have the floor.
I just wanted to say I had the pleasure of sitting in on her interview, and I can definitely second Chairperson Liati's sentiments that she was very impressive. She is extremely smart, very intelligent. Like Chairperson Matthews, she asked like a question about accounting. And she like answered it right on the spot, and she gave like a really great answer, and she made us all like understand like something about accounting. And I don't know, she just seemed very organized, very like informed, and I think she would be great for this role.
Is there any other discussion at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move to a vote. All righty, Legislator DeVore.
Yay.
Legislator Mullins. Legislator Williams.
Yay.
Speaker Johnson.
Yay.
Majority Leader Smith.
Yay.
Chairperson Smith.
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali.
Yay.
Legislator Dreswicki. Legislator Duong.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Adrian.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Maria.
Yay.
Legislator Mason. Yay in the chat. Legislator Mays, I apologize for skipping over you. Legislator Prishandaro.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay.
Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand.
Yay.
Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
Alrighty, with that, Divya has been approved. Alrighty, next up, under new business, we have the approval of Tay Smith for legislator. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. You have the floor.
Howdy, I'm back. I have the fun pleasure of presenting Hay before you all for approval. Our very, very fun legislature. I must admit, out of all of the. I think she was the one that got me. That I've ever seen, at least, so I wanted to give her that. But I don't think she would speak for herself and will yield the floor to her.
Hi. Kind of scared of public speaking, but hi. So my name is Shantae Smith, but I like Tay. Some of you guys are familiar faces for me, if not from the REC or from the Center of Multicultural Initiatives or for the Gender and Sexuality Center. I work at the REC. I also work at CMI as a peer mentor. I mentor 3 freshmen. I also work at the Gender and Sexuality Center, and I mentor also 2 other freshmen. Also, I've been an orientation group leader in the past summer with Celeste Black, if you guys have heard period. But I would love to be a part of the Open University Student Congress because I feel like it's a good representation of our students, but I feel like there could definitely be more representation for the Black community for sure. Also, I feel like I give a better, not a better, but more perspective on our campus, because you know a couple of your faces are familiar, not everybody's face is familiar, and I feel like our community something that comes with time and emotion, of course. Also, I'm a very social person, I'm a very outgoing person. This week I signed my contract for the Army. Also, I'm working with Legislator Mackenzie Smith to pass a bill. To get Juneteenth recognized on our campus. And I feel like it's something that's important that needs to be recognized, especially for minorities. So yes, that's it.
Alrighty,
Is there any
thank,
questions?
yeah, is there any question?
I will start over here and I'll work my way around. Legislator Mays. So, as someone who's familiar with CMI and like not patronizing, are you gonna be able to time in and work with all your duties around campus and your, mentees and everything?
I feel like my freshman year, having gone through that with CMI and being the mentee, and also going through this year being the mentor, and also taking more leadership work on, I feel like I would be able to. And also because I'm not ashamed of it, it's like I'm in therapy, so it's kind of like when it's like if I ever do get overwhelmed, that's who I would speak to. Shout out to the graduate teacher. But yeah.
All right, Chairperson Markowitz.
I just had a quick question. So I was curious if I know you mentioned the one initiative that you're actually already working on, which is super impressive. But I was curious if there was any other initiatives or problems on campus that you want to address once you get approved by the legislature. Thank you.
I would like to address the fact that I feel like our D9 and our other sororities and fraternities on campus are not integrated, I guess you'd say. And that would be another problem I would like to work on campus. Other than that, no, I have not thought of an issue that I would like to address our campus.
All right,
Also, well, is there anybody that's not familiar with the D9 on our campus? Like what the? Do you mean? Okay, so it's called the Divine Nine, it stands for the Divine Nine, and it was created, majority of the sororities and fraternities were created. And they were created at first for Black women and men to also be ahead in the community, not just for like white males, females, and yeah.
legislator. Okay, lovely. All right, is there any other legislator Lunger?
I'm really interested in your cultural diversity initiatives. And it's also interesting that you work at the rec center. The rec center is a really nice place at OU. I went swimming there a couple times. I also tabled Autism Family Fun Day there. And I think you'll bring some good initiatives to Student Congress, and maybe you could even assist with events like Mindful Mondays.
Thank you, Emily.
Director Lehman Pace.
I did just want to say super quickly that I'm really excited by you and Legislator Smith's resolution to affirm our support for Juneteenth being a school-wide holiday. I can say now that the results have come back in from our community calendar survey, which I hope some of you filled out, I put it in the Slack, that is a really popular option among professors and undergraduate students. So hopefully this will be the final push it gets to get the university to recognize it.
Great. Any other questions for today? Great. Seeing none, I'm going to ask you to step out into the hallway. We'll bring you back in just a minute. All right. Is there any discussion on today's approval? Right. Speaker Jonathan.
Like me, I'm sure you can all agree it'll be great to have on our legislature someone who is very involved in the campus community in a lot of different areas, who can provide some very good perspective to all of us so that, we maintain a well-rounded approach to things. And I just like her, she's pretty great, so I will yield the floor with that point.
Legislator Mays.
Kind of saying the same thing. I would say having someone who's really involved on campus, especially like CMI. We've been talking previously about trying to reach out to more people around campus, especially those who, more minorities on campus, more people who feel more intimidated to approach Congress. Level of difference they feel that we have. And I feel like having more people who are involved, especially with CMI and just different places on campus, would be very helpful.
Legislator Smith.
Hi, so I worked closely with Shantae on numerous jobs. We worked in CMI together on the same team. We worked in OGL together, and yeah, we just worked together a lot of the times. We did the core program together, so I've had the joy of feeling the pros and cons of everything, and I wanted to be transparent with people. What I may say may not be the most liked, and that's totally okay. I want to just be transparent with you all. I think Shantae is a great person to work with. I think me and her both agree on a lot of initiatives, and I think we both push for the same, think in general, I think she would be in legislature to have. We voted yay with that. Just also wanted to, be transparent, I guess, with the co-working of it, like involvement that sometimes can be played with other team members. I don't know if that's making sense. I'm trying to be like as nice. Sometimes there can be like a gap within communications with office members or workers. Sometimes there can be comfortable situations that happens around numerous jobs that she's been a part of. Not saying that at all to say that like she should not be. Again, I will be voting yay. I just want to be transparent with in that matter. But again, I do think that should be a great legislator to have. I just think sometimes there can be communication barriers.
All right, Director Lemon Biggs.
I did want to first commend Legislator Smith for bringing up positives and then like, I don't want to call them negatives, but like just more information about someone you've worked with. That even if you don't need it in a mean way, it's going to be like, hey, like, here's some things to be mindful of when you're working with somebody. And I think that that's like, but I think that Tay seems like a fantastic candidate for student congress. The fact that she's already jumped ahead to not only having initiative ideas, but actively working with members of Congress on those initiative ideas, shows that she clearly has an investment in being involved in student government. Not to mention her point of having more voices of color and women of color in this Congress is so incredibly important, especially in today's climate. Thank you.
Legislator Wiegand.
Hey, so I've seen her at the rec center because I go all the time and she's always been very. She's always smiling and happy and welcoming at the rec center, so I just wanted to say that.
Right, Chairperson Smith.
So I would like to, essentially echo everything everyone has already said, but also as a point of inquiry for Speaker Johnson, out of just personal curiosity, how long did it take for her to get her signatures rounded up and in? Because you said it would be very quick, and I don't know, I was curious. I yield the floor.
Are you on the time in which I gave her the sheet to which I received it back? A matter of about 26 hours.
Is there any other discussion anyone would like to bring up at this time before we move to a vote?
Yeah.
All right, we will go ahead and do so now. All righty. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Mullins.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams. Speaker Johnson. Majority Leader Smith. Chairperson Smith. Chairperson Valdez. Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali.
Yeah.
Legislator Joswicki. Legislator Duong.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Adrian.
Yay.
Legislator Iveza Maria.
Yay.
Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason. See a yay in the chat. Legislator Prishandaro.
Yeah.
Legislator Rosario. Legislator Smith. Legislator Waters.
Yeah.
Legislator Wiegand.
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf. Alrighty, would someone like to go and grab Tay from the hallway? Alrighty, with that, Tay has been approved as the newest legislator in student campus. Congratulations. Thanks. And Legislator Smith, are you present or present and voting? I will also clarify that present means you have the option to abstain. Present and voting means you do not. Okay. Alrighty, moving on. Next up under new business, we have CR 6708. This is presented by Chairperson Smith. Chairperson Smith, you have the floor.
My first time back up here in a while, presented anything in a while. And for anyone who has been suggesting things on the doc for the entire meeting, it's been automatically rejecting things without my consent, so just tell me what you want to do, I'll see about it. Essentially, this is a resolution to just respond to recent acts of discrimination against the transgender community in the country at large, and this is to reaffirm our commitment to the transgender community and to the DEI offices on campus, which of course include mainly the GSC, CMI, and a bunch of others. I say reaffirm because we did have a fairly similar resolution presented by Director Lehman Pace when he was a legislator. I think it was like the second resolution we ever looked at. But I want to not clarify, I want to reaffirm our commitment just due to recent events outside of, this university. Does anyone actually want me to read through everything word for word? Yes, okay. A resolution to advocate and reaffirm University Student Congress's commitment to the transgender community and DEI programs across campus. Whereas the University Student Congress has long vocalized and acted upon its support for the transgender community and the LGBTQIA+ community at large, recent executive decisions in the United States have resulted in attacks, discrimination, and overall contributed to the oppression and prejudice towards the transgender community. Members of the transgender community who are also members of our campus community find themselves lost, depressed, upset, and some find themselves feeling alone in their struggle. Let it hereby be enacted by the members of the legislature and the executive board of the Open University Student Congress for the betterment of campus student life. Open University Student Congress reaffirms its commitment to the transgender community, LGBTQI+ community at large, and all DEI programs across campus. Open University Student Congress is dedicated to the transgender community around campus and our DEI programs across campus that support and advocate for the transgender community, a commitment to assure that Student Congress will continue to fight for the transgender community. And the University Student Congress commits to helping our DEI programs on campus and commits to supporting them in any way we can.
G708. Director Lynn Pace.
Thank you. I was wondering if we could maybe potentially amend to include some specific examples, like how the president signed the executive order banning Medicaid from covering transition care for anyone under the age of 19, or the plethora of state laws, or even the CDC recently saying that papers pending that included words such as gender AMAB or assigned male at birth, assigned female at birth, or basically anything related to the field of sociology or sex research had to be rescinded, which was scary. But I think that it could be a wise idea to include specific examples like that to help strengthen our case. Also, I will say, I love this resolution. I think this is fantastic. I actually would love to be able to signature from the student select. But I do think maybe if we could like open the wording, the like a little bit, because I know there's another resolution in the pipeline also addressing DEI programs, which includes, I mean, there's a lot of the programs and people are weaponizing. A lot of bad faith actors are using the word DEI as a racist stand-in for attacks on Black people in particular. And so I know we have a resolution in the pipeline for that. And also, I mean, DEI even includes things like veteran services, and it's a pretty nebulous thing that's under attack. So I think if there's a way to open in there just a little bit, that'd be cool. Because I know there's something else getting launched down the tube next week, but other than that, this is really good.
President Garcia.
First of all, I really love the resolution. It's beautifully written. I do want to add that, as our role in Student Congress, not only do we, should commit to representing all students and, pushing to support all students, we also push, the administration to support all students and so I feel like it would be good to add, if this aligns with the purpose of your resolution, feel free to, not take my suggestion into consideration, but I think it might be good to add something in the latter half of the resolution to just say, this is what we want the university to do. This is what we call upon the university to do, just because that's what kind of our resolutions are meant for, just to voice specifically what we want the university like administration to do. But so far I really do like it. I think we can just add on to it.
I don't know if this would help or not in terms of addressing that, last line, that could you possibly add EDI programs, resources and services on campus that may be more covering of what Ethan is trying to get at. And I'm also worried about our student organizations as well in terms of what some of them are devoted to and the possibility they're going to be targeted as well.
Legislator Christian Nara.
I have a question for Chairperson Smith on, do you identify any I'm very in support of this largely symbolic gesture as this declaration. Are there any specific problems that you identify or have for problems on campus with transgender equality discrimination?
Specific problems relating to anything that currently is or might be included in this resolution, not particularly. There's always going to be issues. There's always going, I think my very first piece of legislation for Student Congress was regarding, regarding preferred name usage and mailing, and of course that is still going on, but I was told that what I wanted was very unrealistic, so we kind of worked behind the scenes on that. But there's of course a lot of things, but not a lot can actually be done about them. Specifically, I have my dead name in my email. I can't get rid of that. They won't let me. They literally will not let me unless I legally change my name, which is becoming a little impossible at the moment. So I just kind of got to deal with that. And that's just university policy. Why? I don't know. I can tell you.
Legislator DeVore.
First of all, I just wanted to obviously share my support for this resolution. I think especially in the time we are in, I think this is a very important for our community as a whole. I would also like to echo what President Garcia said about taking this up with the university as a whole, because I'm sure we all got the email a couple weeks ago saying that they want to review all DEI programs and initiatives on our campus. Recently following the White House's decision to full federal funding from universities that have DEI programs and initiatives and services on their campuses, which is obviously terrifying. But I think this is something that we need to take up with the university so that they can continue to promote supporting the transgender community along with other DEI programs and initiatives across campus. I yield the floor.
Legislator Wolf?
Although we may be limited in intangible praxis and action, I think that this is an important political statement to send to the university, to those who have the ability to take action and to change praxis within this institution. Because, you know, like, I believe that admins, some of them are very far removed from the lives of students and those different from them. And I don't think many of them, I don't think are even, you know, many of them are indeed sympathetic and not malicious. And I think there's sometimes there's a lack of a bridge for them to understand that this matters to people. This can change someone's life. This can just make someone's day-to-day operations just a little bit better, or even all of them more better. And I think that this is important to communicate. I yield that.
Legislator Lehman Pace?
I will say to hit on that point a little bit about trying to talk to administration specifically. Director Al-Jajawi and I have been working with the Center for Multicultural Initiatives, and I reached out to the grad assistant of the GSC about doing a sort of like awareness campaign for students and getting faculty involved in it. Additionally, I was going to bring up later, I had submitted for to Chair Valdez a window to talk about the upcoming Board of Trustees meeting, because I had planned on they allow you to make a statement if you submit like up 48 hours ahead of time. You can make a statement at the meeting, because a lot of members of the current Board of Trustees appointed by the governor have either a background in diversity, equity, and inclusion, one specifically being the former DEI officer for the Pistons. One is the wife of Senator Gary Peters. She has a background in sociology and HR and the DEI field. There's also a couple other members of the board who are a lot more sympathetic to this sort of thing and will go to bat for it. And so I think if we bring this to their attention, that could be a wise idea. I think that at OU, we have a lot of people in our corner on this front, and I don't think we run as much risk as a lot of other schools do, but rest assured there are links with administration going on right now, and there are people that care. But I'll bring it up more later. It'd be cool if people could trust people. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, is there any other questions or discussion? Legislator Whedon?
Hello, I'm wondering if someone could explain to me the benefits of DEI, because from my perspective, I see it as less efficient. I want everyone to have equal opportunity, but I think that people also earn. And I knew this would happen, but I'm just curious if someone could please explain to me the benefits. Because I want to understand your perspective.
I will go around. Legislator Wolf?
What exactly do you believe DEI to be? Because quite essentially it is a very diverse range of practices, values and intentions, because DEI can range from simply celebrating other cultures to having an agency that like a new mother could go to and be like, I believe my boss is specifically discriminating against me because we already had a new mother might be like, yeah, we've already discussed with HR that I was gonna have changing availability and that they would be flexible with me, and that this is the times I can or cannot be on the clock, but now my boss is like trying to set meetings when it is agreed that I can be home off the clock with my child. Or someone could be like, I'm being harassed for, for being gay in my class, like my classmates are like saying stupid stuff to me and they don't wanna work with me or whatever. Or like if someone is, like of a racial minority, they could be like, my professor has said some like racist remarks to me and I just want someone to confirm with them that that is not acceptable behavior, like. DI can also like expand to hiring practices to, like to encourage recruiters to examine like who they're hiring to be like, to value diversity, like it's not necessarily hiring someone solely based on their race, identity, or otherwise, but to simply be like, oh, you may see a candidate who perhaps may be Black and comes from a traditionally Black university or area or something like that. And to simply like to like give them, insight that like, just because this is a university like U of M or Central University of Michigan or something like that's very big, you might have to look further and try and examine their personal qualities that, just because they're from a university or from a background that you immediately, see. It's like, it's not about diversity, equity, and inclusion is not about just needless pandering or just placating. It's about, like tangible actions that, extend a bridge to, marginalized communities and ensure that everyone involved, like is being treated in a dignified and equitable manner. It's not about like, oh, we need to hit our quota of hiring, amputees or veterans or, people of a certain race. It's simply about noticing blind spots in various, many, many different ways and practices. And, I think a lot of in our political climate, they're trying to say that DEI is making things worse and is inefficient. And I think it is a dog whistle to say that having Black people, having queer people, having people of different ethnicities and religious backgrounds is inefficient. And quite frankly, in our society, having people frankly exist and participate in our society and live their lives and be members of our society is not inefficient. That is called being a human. Because how would you feel like if, let's say someone is Orthodox Christian and their Easter, like on my mother's side, their Easter sometimes can happen even a month after American Easter. And what if they still want to attend and observe religious rites and practices? Like they should be able to do that. I just think that we cannot be torn apart by simply wanting people to be treated equally and with dignity.
President Garcia, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, I was gonna give some information about the resolution, but first to answer Legislator Wiegand's question with like more, I guess, examples of DEI initiatives like at our own campus at OU. For example, like any of the like the offices, like the office of CMI, for example, like we see like differences in retention rates between minority students and other students, and so the CMI office kind of works to kind of bridge that gap and make sure that our all of our minority students are able to complete college, complete OU, and graduate, and become successful members and contributors to our society. DEI initiatives are very widespread, as Legislator Wolf has discussed, but they exist on our campus, and I think they've benefited a lot of our students as a whole. Even with like the GSC office, they have provided like a safe space on campus with resources for a lot of our LGBTQ plus students. And I think when we talk about DEI initiatives, we're talking about real things that help all of our students, stay on campus to be able to graduate on, not just drop out, but be able to graduate and we see these gaps in retention because of real systemic issues that we see in society that kind of disadvantage uh, minority students. And I think that as student congress members, it is our duty to represent all of those students and recognize those gaps that they face and try our best to advocate for them so that they can have the best possible experience at OU.
Just a piece of information I'd like to add in because I have not heard it mentioned is that also when we discuss DEI, it includes things like DSS and accommodations for students with disabilities, no matter what that looks like. Just wanted to make sure that was included in there. Let Director Lehman Pace.
I'll be super quick. I did want to say, I guess, an example of why diversity, equity, and inclusion, which I think is important to remember that that's what the acronym is important. Multiple studies have been conducted on this. When handed a job application or a resume for it and a job application with a traditionally Black name or an African sounding name, or honestly any non-white sounding name, it can have the same, they've done this with the exact same information with a white sounding name and a non-white sounding name. 9 times out of 10, the white sounding names. 9 times out of 10, the white sounding name is going to be picked with Middle Eastern sounding name because of inherent biases that a lot of people hold. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is about finding the best candidate regardless of ability, and it's in an attempt to negate a lot of people's inherent white, upper middle class male bias. If you look at the current makeup of Congress right now, if you look at the Senate, an overwhelming majority are old white men. Even though a lot of this country is not old white men currently, we have 2 Black women in the Senate, and it is the first time that that has ever occurred. Ever. And the first Black woman who was elected to the Senate was Carol Moseley Braun in 1992. 200 years of this country, and we hadn't had a Black woman in the Senate until 30 years ago. That is why DEI is important, because a lot of it is about giving opportunities to people who have fought twice as hard to having a chance at an opportunity. And I'm going to yield my time to some of those people. Thank you.
Legislator Smith.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep it quick because I don't have to go, but I do appreciate you asking the question. Like I feel like you might feel like kind of targeted and kind of, I don't know, but I appreciate you asking the question because some people are scared to ask the question. They're not men, just people that are a minority should not be scared to ask a question because if you don't, then you're looked at as ignorant. At least that's my perspective. So I was just looking at the case of, I think it was like Linger and Rutzer or something. I don't know how to pronounce this. But anyways, so DEI is not just for like minorities. It's mainly for minorities, but it's also for white men, white females. Also to make sure that you guys aren't excluded either. Like in CMI or in GSC, like specifically CMI for me is, a lot of people think it's for mainly Black people, and it's not mainly for Black people. And in my opinion, yes, I do kind of wish there was a community where it was kind of just for Black people, but since DEI is something that's created on our university, they allow other people to join us. But anyways, in that case, the guy, he was stating that he felt like he wasn't chosen just to treat a minority quota basically, and he got like a Black person, I wasn't sure if it was a Black person, but a minority got chosen over him, so he sued the Michigan Law School or whatever like that. And it became like an unconstitutional thing to like, pick somebody because of their race basically. But I do appreciate you asking the question.
Speaker Johnson.
I will note that often in society, the term diversity, equity, and inclusion gets weaponized, which is why it's short to DEI, because a lot of people harp a lot on the diversity aspect, but don't really go deep enough into the equity part of it and the fact that it exists so that everyone gets what they need so that they can succeed. So some examples, even beyond Oakland, if you know anyone who ever needed extra time to take a test in like high school or even now, that's DEI. Even on this campus, I wanted to follow up with something VP Brunner said. The DSS office, the Academic Support Center, the Veterans Student Services Office, there's a lot of places that exist so that all students get what they need to make sure they thrive, regardless of race or ability, gender, sexuality. It's not meant to discriminate anyone for receiving anything. It's literally in existence to make sure that no one gets discriminated, especially groups that historically have been. So I know how can I word it to get what I'm saying? In the past, the forced inclusion of a lot of groups that were previously left out felt as if, you know, to give rights to one group or to give privileges to one group, you have to take away from another. But the thing about rights is that they're not a pie. So it is possible that everyone having the same opportunities is not the same as having to take away from one to give to the other. So that is what I wanted to give you for the efficiency part. It exists so that no one has to feel as if they didn't get an equal chance. Like with the perspective process, I make sure that every prospective legislator goes through the same thing. So that no one feels like one person got more or less than they did. I will yield the floor with that. I also wanted to make a point that I think we've exceeded our 10-minute time limit for discussion as well.
Okay, so a lot of things were just talked about. I'm gonna ignore a lot of it. There was a lot of good suggestions, which would be literally impossible for me to sit here and do. So I'm not gonna do that, but I also don't want to postpone this to another meeting because this is important. So what I want to do is I want to table this. And once we're through everything else on the agenda, I want to bring it back up with all of its updates. I'm going to work on it throughout the rest of the meeting. So if any of you made any suggestions to the wording of the resolution, to anything you want to add, text it to me. I will quickly try and add it and we'll bring it back up. Any quick questions, statements about that? Good, I wasn't gonna answer them anyway. So with that, I'd like to put forth a motion to table CR 6708.
Seconded by Speaker Johnson. Okay, moving on. Next up is old business. We do not have anything under old business for today. So next we will move to discussion. There's also nothing under discussion for today. So next up, we will move to legislative updates. First up, we have the Speaker of the Legislature, Speaker Johnson, you have the floor.
Okay, well, from me, I don't have too much. I've had my weekly one-on-ones with VP Brunner. I don't think I was able to do mine with chairperson. Schedules that. I don't know if I announced it to the group, but I remember that almost every prospective legislator who's stood before this body has mentioned wanting to get the GRIS number on student IDs. And I was able to have a very fun chat with the member of the ID card office. And he said he will make an inquiry to making that a thing. I guess the reasons we don't do it anymore don't exist. So he's more than happy now that he knows it's a thing we're wanting to do, to look into it and seeing if that's the thing we can make happen. Other than that, I don't have too many updates as far as that goes. Meet the Reps is officially confirmed for February 18th, 11:01. A lot of the hardcore minutia planning for the event will be done in the task force this Wednesday, which all of you got your work referral signed should be at, because that's a requirement of legislators. So I look forward to seeing you all there. With that,
Alrighty, next up, we have liaison reports. Is there any liaisons present today that would like to provide their reports? Marion Lunger?
On Wednesday, January 29th, the PCO hosted a honey tasting event with Preston Zale. The event was a success with lots of information on the different textures, tastes, and smells honey can have. Preston also went in depth on honey made from honeybee workers and the importance of these bees to the environment. The PCO is looking for members to join its e-board in the upcoming summer, so let us know if you're interested in any of the positions. With that, I yield the floor.
Great. Is there any other liaisons present today that would like to provide their report? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on next. Is there any updates related to legislative projects and initiatives? Legislator Mays?
So for my legislative one-on-one with Vice President Drummond, we talked about potentially working with the library. They have a lending library and potentially doing an initiative regarding lending heating pads on campus to students. So people can, well, they can have them for a certain period of time and then bring them back. And it'll be like one of the initiatives. Oh, that one is the one that we like forces that can be the most probable at the moment. And another one was the new Women's Resource Center, which I had me a little bit more time to think about, but about the lending library eating patterns. And we're already but I yield to
Legislator Smith?
Kind of bouncing off of your idea, I speaking to whatever. I've been thinking of kind of speaking to different faculty members on campus who are thinking of having like a safe space, kind of like a women gathering, which would have like women resources, kind of like a lounge area. Think of like how the GSE is, yeah, and then the CMI, and just have that for all women on campus, no matter. So that is something that I'm in the work with, interested in, just that are having ideas of what to add, what to bring, or contact. I'm for that, guys.
Alrighty, is there any other updates related to legislative projects and initiatives at this time? Alright, any questions related to legislative reports at this time? Alright, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on next to e-board reports. First up, we have a report from President Garcia.
Hey everyone. Alrighty, so I have not been around for the past few days because of some family issues that I have going on, but I have still been very much available and talking to everyone continually. So there's just been a few different things that we're planning. But some things that I just wanted to highlight first, I know I already covered this, but I just wanted to think again about just thank you all again for helping out with Heritage Week. It was extremely helpful, and I think that everything really went really well. And I was watching the fashion show through like the live on Instagram, and I was very impressed. And I'm really happy about all the work that Director Al Jajawi put into it, and all of you guys. It was great. So I just wanted to repeat that again. But for the most part, I've just been working on a few different things. One of the most important things is through SAFAC. We're working on securing an increase in funding for club sports, and also potentially an increase in the student activities allocation. Like the fee that is the student activities fee, increasing that to be a little bit more, I guess, to go along with inflation. But all of those things will be voted on during a general body meeting. So once the SAFAC members, which for all those that are unaware includes organizations like SPB, SVP, the radio station, etc., the Post as well. Once we all vote to agree on what changes we would like to make, we will make sure to present that all to you guys so that you guys have that stake in that vote. And then following that it will be going on the like the student-wide ballot, when, you know, like during like just a regular election. And we'll also have some stuff from the Congressional Records Committee, which will also be fun. And we've been working on for like the past few weeks, well, not past few weeks, past months, about like edits that we want to make to the Constitution. So thank you, Director Richardson, for organizing that as Director of Internal Affairs. But I don't have too much to talk to you about today. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about anything on my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you, President Garcia. I will try and keep mine brief by focusing on some main things. First one, in terms of Campus Food Committee, I would say the last one that we had was extremely productive because we were looking at ways that we can increase engagement with that. I mean, it's an open forum where students can voice any concerns or questions about dining on campus, which is super important. So I have been working with Legislator Mays to create flyers that we're going to poster around campus to help advertise that more. In addition to that, we're going to be including a QR code on the flyer so that students can sign up to get a regular newsletter. So after we have every meeting, I take notes. I will email those notes to any students who are interested in hearing what we discussed. In addition to that, the form that we'll include will also have a space for students to submit questions if they are unable to attend the committee meetings. So overall, just doing some stuff to kind of boost Campus Food Committee in terms of engagement, making sure student voices are heard. We also had our SAFAC meeting. We are continuing to discuss everything with club sports. And as President Garcia mentioned, we will continue to keep you updated as we move forward. And also Heritage Week. As somebody who was not around a whole lot for Heritage Week last year, it was super, super awesome. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for investing as much as you did into the success of Heritage Weeks. It really does take all hands on deck. So thank you to all of you for your commitment. The fashion show was very, very fun. And I hope everybody else enjoyed it as well. So with that, I will yield. And next up, we'll move to reports from our advisor. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, and I also want to give kudos to Heritage Week and all that were involved, and in particular to the intervention fashion. Again, kudos to all of you. I also want to let you know that coming up in February, we have OU Week of Kindness. That is the 10th through the 14th. And because of the severe weather that we had, we are rescheduling MLK Day of Service to be incorporated into OU Day of Kindness. So that is now February 12th. Will be from 9 to 9. It will be in the Habitat this year. And we'll also have a volunteer fair. So if you're still looking for volunteer opportunities, particularly for your classes, we will have agencies from off campus being able to provide, hopefully, spaces for you to do your volunteer service. In addition, one of the things that we're doing for the month up to Valentine's Day is our service project is stuffed animals. Everybody loves stuffed animals. We want to collect them for the children of Pontiac so that they are warm and comforted. And so please kind of raid your rooms and or the dollar store and see if you can bring some stuffed animals. My goal is to have 500 of them by February 14th. So I'm asking you to spread the word on that. Also, I do want to give you a reminder, especially academic-wise, that FAFSA, make sure you're filling those out. And remember that we have one more month to go for the Oakland University scholarships. There's over 350 that are available for you to apply, but that deadline is March 1st. So please do not procrastinate and look over what you can apply for, and I encourage you to do so. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Advisor Miller. Moving on, is there any updates related to e-board projects and initiatives, Director Skinner?
So we've got a lot of stuff coming up for the sustainability. We have the live owl event, so we will have live owls coming in. You'll be able to see them. You cannot pet the live owls, but you can see them. And then after we'll be dissecting owl pellets, so that'll be pretty cool. It's like finding like bones of small animals and stuff. So that'll be February 12th, from 5 to 7, I believe, in the Gold Rooms. Yes. So we'll start getting the Google invite and the calendar invite out for all of that. And the trail maintenance project is going well. Me and legislator Christian Darrow just checked out the trail earlier, so it's all looking good, and we'll start working on that. And I am looking for volunteers. We're having our repair cafe sort of event where we have a bunch of experts, people who can repair stuff, come in and volunteer, and then they repair stuff for students that come in. And I was wondering if any of you would like to volunteer. I'm just looking for volunteers, or if you know anyone who can come and volunteer to fix stuff, make stuff for students. Yeah, so contact me on Slack or, yeah. Question.
All right, is there any other updates related to e-board projects and initiatives at this time? All right, seeing none, is there any questions related to executive reports? Director Richardson?
What day is that gonna be for the event that Dr. Skinner was talking about? Yes.
It has not been planned yet, but it's going to be either in late March or very early April.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions related to executive reports at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Chairperson Valdez, for the next point on the agenda, are we keeping?
Oh, we're keeping.
Okay. So Director Lehman Pace would like to propose a point of discussion about the Board of Trustees.
It'll be super quick. I promise. The one specific item where I'm gonna get this. Hey there, everybody. So, as you know, the Open University has quarterly Board of Trustees meetings, which means that they're once every about 3 months. The upcoming one is this it's Thursday, and it is, I'm blanking on time right now, but that's,
3 p.m.?
yeah, that sounds about right. Let me open my calendar, because I know it's in my calendar. I apologize. I'm a little bit scatterbrained. It's not in my calendar. That's really awesome. In any case, the Board of Trustees meet once every 3 months, and it is pretty infrequent that they actually have any students come up and give questions, comments, or concerns, which is why I think that it would be incredibly effective if we went to the Board of Trustees meeting, and it's something that I had discussed with Director Al-Jawi. I believe I had discussed it with Vice President Broomer, and it was, sorry, I lost it. And basically we would go in and we would remind them, hey, we're students and we believe that in this university, we need to protect all of the students here. It's a scary time and we don't need to fold over. Be like Costco or Meijer or any of the companies that are doubling down on their inclusion initiatives and trying to make sure that every student here feels safe and welcome when they come to class. Because first and foremost, we're here to learn. We're here to be active members of the community. College is supposed to be a safe place for people. And we should make sure that the Board of Trustees is reminded that students are watching and think that it's important. President Paskovitz's statement was a good first step in a direction, but I think if the Board of Trustees heard that students want to make sure that there are more protections, it would be incredibly important. So if you message me on Slack, if any of you are interested at all in speaking, they do limit to 4 speakers per topic and you get 2 minutes per speaking. So you have actually until about midday tomorrow to send an email to Josh Merchant, the Chief of Staff for the Board of Trustees, with an idea of what your comment will be. If you would like, if there's enough, show of hands if anyone's interested in speaking at the meeting. That's 1. Come on, none of you? 2, 3. We got a 4th? Oh well, I will email Chief of Staff Merchant and say that we have some people interested in speaking on behalf of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs on campus and making sure that our campus stays a safe place for all students. Additionally, I was also gonna sneak a little point in mind, like, hey, most of you were student leaders. You should totally be on board with us increasing the SAF allocation, but I'm gonna sneak that in at the end. All right, see ya.
Chairperson Smith.
All right, I have two separate motions. First, I would like to motion to bring CR 6708 off of the table.
We have corn. We have corn. Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. I would have thought pretty cool. Yeah. Overachiever. Can't even vote.
Okay, yes, we still have quorums.
And second, I would like to put forth a motion to consider CR 6708 for debate, for review, debate, and vote.
Did first, legislator jump?
What? One. I think we need to all do that. It's simple, but it's so weird.
Okay. I've made a lot of, a fair amount of edits. I have added, I replaced all mentions of the term DEI with the, I essentially unabbreviated it. Everything now says diversity, equity, and inclusion. Figured everyone would like that. I included specific executive orders that targeted diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and the transgender community. And if you would please scroll down. Thank you very much. A little bit more. Here we are. I added little bits to subpoint A and B to they're both the same in each line, to call upon the administration to do the exact same thing we're doing here in this resolution. And regarding Director Lehman Pace's want to make it more open-ended, I tried, I texted the director and we couldn't find a way to do it. Quoting our text concepts of an idea to make it more open-ended. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay. Legislator Waters.
Thank you. This isn't necessarily a question. I feel like I may have raised my thing a little too early, but I just wanted to say that I am strongly in support of this resolution. I feel it is very important that we as a body uplift members of our campus community and the wider community as a whole that are being treated unfairly at the moment. And I feel that it is our purpose to not just speak for ourselves, but the entire student body, not just one group or leaving any group out, every single student. With that, I yield the floor.
Any other questions or points of discussion on CR 6708 at this time? Chairperson Markowitz.
Yeah, sorry, quick question. I'm assuming that this has already been taken into account. But I know that we have to be like very careful with like any political comments that we make. And so I just wanted to clarify that putting in the particular executive orders wouldn't interfere with that. I wasn't sure if that was included or not.
I would assume it wouldn't interfere. Of course, if anyone has any opinion otherwise, I'm more than welcome to hear that, but I don't think so.
President Garcia.
I'm open to hearing counter arguments, but because we're like, I don't know, I feel like because these are just like objectively laws that have been passed, and we're not referencing like specific political parties or showing our support towards specific candidates or parties. I would not classify this as political, but again, you guys are the voting members, so if you feel uncomfortable or feel like this is too political, then please let me know.
Director Lamb-Pace?
I and this one I am acutely aware of because I've passed similar legislation in the past. I know that we do have a precedent in citing either articles about laws or laws in particular that are alarming. And so I the opinion that because we are saying this act is bad or this order is bad, the person who did this order is bad, regardless of our own personal beliefs. I don't think that it's inherently political or taking a side on the matter just because there is precedent here of citing orders and articles. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or points of discussion regarding this resolution? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. Alrighty. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Mullins.
Yay.
Legislator Williams.
Yay.
Legislator Smith. Majority Leader Smith.
That's good.
Chairperson Smith.
Yay.
Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Ali. Legislator Jezwicki. Legislator Duong.
Yay.
Legislator Ibeza Adrian.
He had to leave for class. I think he said that in the chat.
Okay, my apologies then. Legislator Ibeza Maria.
Abstain.
Legislator Mason. See a yay in the chat. Legislator Prashandaro.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay.
Legislator Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand. Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
Legislator Smith. Alrighty, with that, CR 6708 has been approved and passed. Alrighty, returning back to where we are with the agenda. Next up, we have comments from the gallery. Any comments from the gallery? Kayla Snell.
Hi, my name is Kayla Snell. You've probably seen me around the office, but if you haven't, hello. I had actually a couple questions for Chairperson Smith about CR 6708. I have signed on my support because overall I do feel that it is a bill that has the power to be very helpful to the student body. But as it stands now, I feel that the symbolism in it does not translate to actual action. What will the act, essentially what I am asking is, will this act as a placeholder for tangible action later? And if so, will there be a follow-up bill introduced to include all perceived DEI policies as mentioned, such as the Disability Support Services, Academic Support Center? I feel as it stands now, it's erring almost very close to being politically charged, what with its very limited language, and thus acts as an exclusion to many minorities who do in fact experience discrimination on a day-to-day basis.
All right, thank you for asking, by the way. I wanted to say that first. I will say, a majority of this the intention behind this legislation is to address particularly the transgender community. And that, of course, that was my focus. And I will say this resolution is mainly it's not a placeholder or a piece of legislation to do specific actions or to just be there for the time being before we move forward with other pieces of legislations. It's more so a mission statement, a way to say, we want to do this. We affirm the specific things mentioned from the communities that are mentioned here, that we want to support you in ongoing events and events previously that have happened, we support you. This was to open the floor to more bills, not even just bills and not just legislation, but more actions by our legislators that of course supported that resolution to take upon themselves initiatives and activities outside of Student Congress to support those communities.
President Garcia, did you still have a comment?
Okay. I was going to, but technically, like, this is not a discussion time, so it's not really time for people to be raising their hand, so I'm just gonna withdraw at this moment.
Okay, is there any other questions or comments from the gallery at this time?
So just to make sure I fully understand, there is no further actions planned or any resolution planned to advocate for other diverse groups on campus as it stands with this resolution?
To be very clear, yes, we have various initiatives going on. It's not just a resolution that we're passing today. Various members of our organization are meeting with administration continually to work on different campaigns and initiatives, particularly through the DEI Council and with VP McIntosh in the office for in the DEI office. So yeah, there are various things that we're working on to answer your question.
All right, any other comments from the gallery?
Not at this time.
Okay, all right. Moving on, next up, is there any announcements anyone would like to make for the Director Hutchinson? Alrighty, everyone, I'll wrap it up quickly. Just a reminder, declaring candidacy opens next Monday. We're gonna make this, the time's not on the timeline, but roughly 9 a.m. Stuff will be going out soon, so I want to remind you that declaring candidacy starts next Monday. Everyone in the room, if you want to be a legislator again, if you want to be, you know, an elected representative here, you have to declare your candidacy. Thank you. Any other? Legislator Wolf?
To speak frankly, beyond Oakland University Student Congress is simply one avenue for change within an institution that is only a small pond in a larger community. And I believe that I call on everyone here to explore many avenues in ways to preserve the dignity of those around us and to engage in acts of resistance and liberation and aid to those who make our community so vibrant and valuable and cherished, and that nothing is symbolic when it is done between man to man, woman to woman, person to person.
Any other announcements anyone would like to make at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to adjournment at 6:46 p.m. Thank you, everyone.